Ladies and gentlemen, Moon Platoon right here. If you guys are a Robinhood user, I'm sorry. But second of all, you might be a whistleblower in the making already, thanks to ex-Citadel, Mr. Dave Lauer. This whistleblower had been going the routes, actually going on to AMAs and hosting himself, but now he has an important post correcting blatant misinformation, and it's not getting any traction. So while I introduce myself to you guys, Andrew, I am a data scientist here in Silicon Valley. That's Professor Meatball. The main point is that we are here to give you guys the news you need for your Saturday, today, 22nd of May, 2021. So here we go. Pay attention. If this video is not up to 1,200 likes yet, give it some love. Comment out which like you are. And look at this. This video does not even have enough likes versus the actual post itself. Here is the one by Dave Lauer, and how, if you guys watch the end of the video, you might know how to whistleblow yourself for the cause, the AMC or the GME cause. Doesn't matter. If you had purchased either of these stocks on Robinhood, here is what you need to know. There's been a lot of posts recently on these two subjects, crazy cost basis reports when transferring out of Robinhood, and some anecdotal reports for maybe just a single report about some fractional share executions outside of the MBBO. They've made some comments about those threads, but thought it might be helpful to put everything together in one place. Gonna give them an upvote first, just by being so measured. Hold on, upvote. By being so measured and by being a good guy, donating his time and giving us the attention that we need. If you, they don't want to put cold water on the theories all the time or to constantly be talking about technical glitches, but they have seen how many of these systems work, and it's also common sense to think about incentives. Firms invest in technology that makes them trade money, like trading, and they don't invest in technology for cost centers like record keeping and compliance. Front office trading systems are sophisticated and high performance. Back office trading are often ancient and always under-invested in. This is especially true when regulatory fines are a little more than a cost of doing business, a slap to the wrist. If you want to see this in action, just look at the FINRA broker check, right? It's in the description. Go ahead and check it out and search for a broker. As they explained to another comment, look up a broker and start looking at their violations. They've done this systematically in the past when evaluating broker dark pool enforcement action risk for institutional asset managers. It's a constant stream of OATS violations, the order audit trail system, as a record of all orders and trades that broker reports to FINRA being replaced by the CAT. Order marking violations, failure to produce trade records, mistakes with order flag records, etc. A constant stream of technology problems. They even presented to the SEC on this after the Knight Capital incident 9 years ago. So the reason why this basically needs to be given to you verbatim is because Dave is already used to being able to dumb down this kind of language for apes, and you guys don't want to be baby too. So if you do have a question, I'm going to be scanning the comment section for the first hour and a half of when this video goes live, answering each of those if you guys have a question about what is supposedly the next step to you whistleblowing. And of course, that is the top comment in this post. How do we file a whistleblower? Just go ahead and make sure that you can get financially rewarded for this behavior, not even on just GME, but all stocks. Be the whistleblower that you want the hedge fund interns to be, and report at sec.gov/whistleblower. And we're not quite there at what you need to whistleblow on yet, so pay attention. So this is not meant in any ways to excuse the behavior. Record keeping mistakes should be honestly be criminal. Without accurate records, regulators can't do their jobs. Cannot agree more. Guys, data is king. How can you go ahead and give me the less than the best data out there? That is an outrage. Underinvestment in compliance and accurate record keeping makes sense in both ways for these firms. The fines are paltry, and if they're trying to avoid detection, shitty record keep quality is a feature, not a bug. Wow, now that's perfect. Fines are just kickbacks for the government to come in and say, yeah, we approve. Keep on doing a bad job, because at the very least, then we get paid as well. That is the feedback system that makes a bad government. Now, all that said, for those of you who have gotten those insane cost bases when transferring out of Robinhood, file a whistleblower complaint. There's the link right there. Seriously, this is your best course of action. If there is, in fact, a systematic problem where Robinhood back office systems and SEC goes in and finds them, you could get a cut of that too. So that's free money right there. You might think it's just GME, but it's very likely that it affects other stocks too. And keep good records of your trades for filing taxes so that these mistakes by Robinhood don't affect you. Tax is so important. We'll make a whole tax-based video soon. But remember, your attendees when you go on the moon, a good amount of that is going to go back to Uncle Sam. So it seems like, once again, a kickback situation, but there are a lot of millionaires in the making that are going to have to pay a ton of capital gains tax on GME. And AMC as well when the squeeze comes around. Next on the topic, they have no idea what you're seeing, why you're seeing insane fractional share cost basis when transferring, especially when you didn't buy fractional shares. They have no good explanation for it, but their assumption is that it's a result of underinvestment in back office technology. They can't possibly see how this is a reflection of any actual trading though. Keep in mind that these are tax records, they are not trade reports. There's a big difference. And even though these records appear to be messed up, it doesn't really mean that any trades were executed at that price. For those of you who did transact in fractional shares, you have to also know that there is very little regulation around fractional shares. For example, right, which broker decides fractional share versus not? If the one broker that I have pulled up right here gives you great technical analysis for free as well, I have crypto pulled up as well, is Webull. If you guys haven't gotten your 2 free stocks there yet, do so. You don't have to buy any stocks on it, but just know if you do, there's no fractional shares here. Okay. So fractions are not reported to the tape market, and while firms are under a best execution obligation, that obligation is hardly enforced at all. So most of the rules they talk about are kind of thrown out the door when dealing with fractional shares because they are not really considered within the current regulatory structure. They would also caution that any fractional shares traded outside of regular trading hours can likely trade at any price, and they would never execute a trade like that. Great point right there. So that's just a quick little tidbit that you can take home from an ex-Citadel employee here. Okay, finally, let's talk about NBBO and trade-throughs. As they've explained before, the national best bid and offer is the best price on the market and is protected during regular trading hours. This means that brokers, off-exchange trading, OTC, and exchanges have safeguards in place to ensure that trades are not executed outside the NBBO. This system is not perfect. A while back, there is an effort to have more disclosure for retail brokers and internalizers by the FIF. That has mostly stopped since the new Rule 606 was passed, but I found that Fidelity is still disclosing those extra stats. So you can find a couple of the orders right here by this picture. 98 to 99% of those shares get executed at or better than the NBBO. So here is a couple of data points for you guys to take a look at there. If the chart confuses you, just pay attention that you can see the most of these orders, 98 to 99%, get executed at better or at the NBBO. Why isn't it 100%? Generally speaking, it's because that there aren't enough shares available at that price. If there's only 100 shares on the best offer and you want to buy 200 shares, you're not guaranteed to get all of them executed at the offer. Although wholesalers like Citadel talk a lot about size improvement along with price improvement, that's a different monster entirely. So Citadel stopped providing these reports in 2019, but you can see that back then theirs looked similar. You can take a look at that link there. They cannot speak to anecdotes, but they can only deal with data. Dave Lauer is a data scientist. I know that there are claims about some crazy execution prices out there. I can assure you that these are not systematic issues. These are always possible that there are some crazy trades, which is why FINRA and exchanges have clearly erroneous rules. And that's the final hyperlink on this. I'm reading this pretty much verbatim because you need to understand he's curated this for you. I want to be able to not skew or jump around his message. The whistleblowing step-by-step process is laid out for you pretty much in this 8-minute to 10-minute long video here. This rule would not exist if it wasn't needed, and when I traded, we had to invoke it at all times. Sometimes crazy trades happen. When they do, alerts go off, then you get busted. Remember that for every trade, there's someone on the other side of it, and if you gotta sell some GME at 2600, that means someone is on the hook to pay that. That person could be incentivized to have that trade busted and has the recourse to do so. So have you guys thought about getting out at whatever price point, whatever exit strategy you guys have? Have you thought about the other person on the other side, right? Always be able to understand that it's not so much when Lambo as how in the course of the Lambo history will I receive Lambo? Okay, finally, have some questions why I generally assumed Hanlon's razor. Don't ascribe to malice that which can be explained by incompetence. Ooh, gonna start quoting that on my normal conversations from now on. Hanlon's razor, don't think that someone is angry at you if they're just being incompetent. They're not so quick to accuse anyone of criminality as others. They're comfortable with that. They're a scientist, and he needs to see data. When he sees it, if it's convincing, then he's comfortable making serious accusations. If that's naive, he's okay with that. It doesn't make him fight any less to improve markets and to improve transparency and access to data. That's why we love the D-Lauer man himself. He hopes this is helpful. He'll try to answer some questions when he can. Market structure is completely complex, and that's why if you guys want some hand-holding, a little bit, never hurts, Professor Meatball and I are here for you. He has a doctorate from the University of Cornell, and I'm a guy wearing a t-shirt that says Moon Platoon on it. Get yours at andrewmomoney.com, but that's the end of this video. Go ahead. You have the tools right now to file if you have made a transfer with a large cost basis to the SEC whistleblow. You are the whistleblower, as it turns out. So thanks to those of you, I've finally updated the Moon Platoon over here, this side of the screen, Gorillionaires and Meatball the Space Legends. Thank you guys for supporting the show by pressing the join button next to the subscribe button or over on Patreon. And hope you guys have a really nice day. For now, but not for forever. See you in the next one. Peace.